induction ceremony. What a night in Birdland. Tonight, we are going to witness the induction of 2 new members of the Orioles Hall of Fame, bringing the number to 58 former Orioles in the Hall, along with the presentation of 2 other highly esteemed awards. These individuals will receive the ultimate compliment that an organization and community can bestow upon its heroes. Induction into a club that includes the likes of Brooks, Frank, Jim, Eddie, Cal, Earl, and Chuck. Men who represented our hometown team with distinction both on and off the field. Let's begin our celebration by introducing to you some special guests who are joining us for tonight's festivities. Seated on stage is the president of the Oriole Advocates. Please welcome Mike Lycia. The Orioles Hall of Fame was established in 1977 by the Oriole Advocates and continues to be administered by the Advocates today. So how about a hand for everything the Advocates do for baseball in our community? On stage to help induct one of our honorees from 105.7 The Fan's Big Bad Morning Show, please welcome Jeremy Conn. Also on stage is the 2018 Herb Armstrong Award winner, a native of Baltimore and former Orioles broadcaster who will help induct one of our honorees. Please welcome home, Fred Manfra. Also on stage is a former pitcher who spent 4 of his 11 big league seasons right here in Baltimore, who will help induct one of our honorees. Please welcome former left-handed pitcher, Ross Grimsley. Tonight's first presentation is the Wild Bill Hagee Award, which honors a fan who has inspired others with their devotion and exceptional support of the Orioles. This is only the 2nd time this award has been given, the other being for the award's namesake, the late Wild Bill Hagee. This year's honoree began calling into 105.7 The Fan when he was just 9 years old and quickly captivated both the hosts and the listening audience with his knowledge, enthusiasm, and optimism. When he first started calling the shows, no one knew that cancer had caused him to go blind as an infant, or that he would battle 4 other cancers and undergo knee replacement surgery in the span of just a few years. His enthusiasm for Baltimore sports never waned, and he touched the hearts and became entrenched in the sports lore of his hometown. And he inspired the athletes themselves, befriending many Orioles and Ravens players. Let's take a look at some of our honorees' special moments.
Guys, is little Mo, right?
Hello! Yeah! Oh!
He's the most upbeat kid I've ever met in my life, and he's so inspirational.
You always seem to stay so positive. How do you do it?
Well, every day when I wake up in the morning, I always feel achieve something that's pretty cool. So I just think positive, and I just like to have fun. Adam!
How you doing, buddy?
Good. Are you Brandon Hyde?
I am.
You're the manager.
I know. Yeah, how's it going, bud?
Good. I'll be rooting for you on the game tonight.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
We'll try to make you proud, all right?
Okay. I got this, Mom. Let's do this. Let's do this. Play ball! When I threw out that first pitch last year, that was the best day I have ever had. Play ball! Thank you, everybody, for having me. It's just awesome to be here. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, our second recipient of the Wild Bill Hagee Award passed away on July 28, 2020. Just hours after learning of his selection, please welcome Mo's mother, Sonsy Gaba. Before we hear from Sonsy, let's welcome members of Mo's family who are with us tonight. Sonsy's brother, Baywan Gaba, sister-in-law, Kara Gaba, her niece and nephew, Jada and Jeremiah, her brother, Noah Bunch, Sonsy's fiance, Iron Boone, and Mo's longtime teacher, Lynn Leach. And let's welcome, from 105.7 The Fan, Jeremy Conn, who will say a few words about Mo.
I guess I should start it off by saying, what's up, Baltimore? So let me tell you about my hero, my friend, Mo Gaba. One of the most inspirational people I've ever met and had the privilege of being around for just a few short years. Mo started calling into our show when he was 9 years old. We didn't know a lot about him, but we slowly learned about his life and some of the things he was going through, but you could never tell because he was so positive, so honest, so amazing. One of my favorite phone calls came from him, I think it was about the third or fourth time he called into the show. And he'd been on hold so long that when we went to him, we heard a toilet flush. So we said, Mo, did you just flush the toilet? And he said, when you gotta go, you gotta go. And from that day forward, we developed this friendship, from us visiting his school, which eventually turned into us texting each other, calling each other, and before I knew it, going over his house, playing video games, and talking about the Orioles and the Ravens and everything that he loved. But this team here, the Baltimore Orioles, gave him an opportunity to come out and really grab a lot of people's hearts and their eyes to see what he was going through and kind of understand his outlook on life. He often said, make every day a win. And that's what I try to do, and I think that's what everyone should try to do. Be as positive as you can. We all know he wasn't dealt the greatest hand in the world, but he made every single day a win. He was positive about everything. And it's not the easiest thing to do, especially when you've been through what he's been through. But as soon as he started coming to Oriole games and meeting some of the players that he fell in love with, you saw the relationships and how they grew. It started with Adam Jones, Manny Machado, to which one of my favorite moments again at Orioles Fan Fest, where Manny said, what would you like to see me do this year? And he said, hit 50 home runs and not get suspended. To one of the people that Mo fell in love with, and I think he knows it, Trey Mancini. I can't say enough good things about Trey. There's a lot that everybody slowly started to learn about him, but the time he spent with Mo that none of you knew about, I know he enjoyed, and the time he spent playing video games and just anything, calling him, talking to him. But when Trey was going through his hardships, Mo didn't even think about himself. He wanted to call Trey and make sure he was doing okay. It's just the type of person he was. So I'm very fortunate that I got to spend 5 years with him. We lost him a little over a year ago, and I miss him greatly, and I'm sure you guys do as well. One of the things that I love the most about him is he never thought about himself. He always thought about everyone else. He cared about each and every one of you guys, and it showed. You look at all the things we've done, whether he was alive or posthumously, he's done so much. The kid's won 3 sports Emmys. He has a street named after him not that far from here, Mo Gaba Way. He's got a talking bobblehead. He's in the NFL Hall of Fame. And today, he's an Orioles Hall of Famer. To the strongest person I've ever met, Sonsy Gaba, I love you. Your son stole my heart, and I like to think a part of him is going to move on with me. And we're going to carry on this legacy, but it starts with today. So I want to tell you guys, I'm proud to formally induct into the Orioles Hall of Fame a young man whose contributions to the Orioles will never be forgotten. A winner of this year's Wild Bill Hagee's Mo Gaba. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, guys. You got to bring this up. So one last thing, Mo loved when we would talk about Hawk Harrelson. And he always said, he had a couple sayings that a lot of you guys will know. But Mo Gaba into the Hall of Fame, you can put it on the board, yes, yes, heck yes, as Mo would say. Thank you guys.
Say thank you to everyone, especially the Baltimore Orioles, for welcoming Mo into the Hall of Fame. I know he is smiling and giggling from heaven right now. And to each and every one of you from Baltimore, thank you for welcoming my son into your families. Thank you guys, and you guys have a great one.
Well, thank you so much, Sonsy and Jeremy. The Herbert E. Armstrong Award honors non-uniform personnel who have made a significant contribution to the ball club and to the game of baseball. Our honoree spent 42 seasons broadcasting Major League Baseball, including 19 years in the Orioles broadcast booth. After working for several teams starting in 1976, he found his way to the Orioles for 3 seasons in 1988, a not-so-lovely season to start with a new team. He returned for 1 season in 1992 before becoming the first broadcast voice of the Marlins. And he finally returned to Baltimore for good in 2004 and spent the final 15 seasons of his broadcasting career in the Orioles radio booth, entertaining fans with his signature calls. Let's take a listen to some of his more memorable calls.
This is the Orioles Radio Network. Sorrento takes a call, strike 3, and the Orioles are in the win column on opening day. Way back there, wait, bye-bye. A Trumbo has won it, and the Orioles in the win column. The Orioles have done it. They have done it. They are the champions. champagne for everybody. One run is in. 2 runs are in. Here's Hardy. Here's the relay. The tag. Safe at the plate. Delman Young, a double with the bases loaded. And the Orioles have gone ahead. Here's the Machado relay. The tag. They got him. They got him. They got him. They got him at the plate. And that's how the ball game ends. They got him at the plate. Here comes the throw. It is too late. And the Orioles have won the game. And they're going crazy. And right now it looks as though the Orioles had won the pennant. And the season ends on a walk-off. And we'll be back with the lovely totals right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 22nd recipient of the Herb Armstrong Award, the former voice of the Orioles and one of the all-time greats. Welcome back, Joe Angel. Before we hear from Joe, please give a warm welcome to members of Joe's family who are with us tonight. Joe's wife, Antoinette, their sons, Jonathan and Tony, his daughter, Natalie Vickers, and her husband, Bo, Joe's granddaughter, Carson, and grandsons, Jacob and Thomas. Let's welcome Joe's former broadcast partner and fellow Herb Armstrong Award winner, Fred Manfra, who will say a few words about Joe.
Well, thank you very much, Brett. Many a night, Joe and I would be sitting up in that broadcast booth, bringing Oriole baseball to the entire area, and what a thrill it was for me to have the opportunity to do that and to work with such a great pro as Joe Angel. When Joe would come into the broadcast booth, the first thing we would ask was about his golf game that day. We could usually tell what kind of mood he was in, how he played that day against either Dave Johnson, Rick Dempsey, or Jim Palmer. Usually, he would have a frown on his face and tell us how poorly he played. But then you would talk to the other guys, and they would say, you know, he took us for some money today, except for Dempsey. Dempsey would always take him for some money. Well, Joe is a special person. He's a great baseball person knowing the game of baseball. He knows the intricacies, the ins and outs, but he also has a great way of making it fun to listen to the ball game. He had nicknames for people. Of course, the Big Bender. There was Tiny Tim. There was Mighty Casey. And he called me Big Boy. Well, I had to do something to change that term Big Boy, so you see I have. He also said, let's have some fun tonight. So that's what I'm going to say for us. Joe had those special calls. Let's all get ready to mimic some of those calls. Let's first of all, the entire stadium say, wave it bye-bye on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Here's another one. Hasta la vista, pelota. 1, 2, 3. The one we always liked hearing at the end of the ball game, those lovely totals. 1, 2, 3. And the one that sometimes would get so excited for Joe that he would leap out of the seat. The Orioles are in the win column. Now, on the count of 3, I want a special one said today. Joe Angel is now in the Orioles Hall of Fame. 1, 2, 3. And deservedly so. Joe, great to have you back. Great to see you, man. And now, I know he's always wanted a green jacket, but probably from Augusta, not from Baltimore, but I know he loves this one from Baltimore. He's a great golfer, as I said. Winning the Masters would probably be the coup de grace to a wonderful golf career. But getting this Orioles Hall of Fame jacket is even more special. I am proud to formally induct into the Orioles Hall of Fame a man whose contributions to the Orioles will never be forgotten. The winner of this year's Herb Armstrong Award, Joe Angel.
Wow, it even fits. Wow. I am so honored. I'm so humbled. And I'm so very proud. So thank you, Orioles, for giving me the opportunity and for taking me back a couple of times, because I did leave a couple of times and the Orioles kept taking me back. So it made me feel like this is where I belonged, and that's exactly what happened. I want to thank the Oriole advocates for recognizing me like this. And I want to thank the Oriole fans for accepting me like you did. I'm very honored. I want to thank my family, Bo, Natalie, Tony, Jacob, Tomas, Carson, all here. Thank you for joining me. I want to thank my wife most of all. Antoinette, would you please stand up? Antoinette, please stand up. I want to recognize you, the most important person in my life. You know, Antoinette always said that she would never marry a truck driver or a traveling salesman because they were never home. And then she married me, and I then became a Major League play-by-play announcer for 42 years. I was gone all the time. Antoinette and I have been married for 50 years. We've had 25 great years together. Thank you, Antoinette, for all the sacrifices that you put. This is so cool, maybe because I was born in Bogota, Colombia, in South America, and I spoke no English until I was about 9 years old. And so I then become, it's a great country, I go on to become a Major League play-by-play broadcaster in English for 42 years. This is such a great country. So the land of opportunity. So I ask you this question, is this heaven? Is this heaven? No, it's Baltimore. And I love it. I can remember as a youngster growing up in Chicago, living and dying with the Chicago Cubs, turning down the volume on my television set, using a hairbrush, pretending it was a microphone, and doing the play-by-play right in my living room. It drove my brother and my sister crazy, and I loved every second of it. That's how this all got started. And the majority of those 42 years came as an Oriole, and for that I'm extremely grateful. Lots of thrills, lots of in the win columns, a few in the loss column, a whole bunch of lovely totals, wave-it bye-byes, all the great memories, but there is no doubt in my mind right now that after 42 years and now in retirement, Major League Baseball, this today is my greatest baseball thrill of all time. Thank you so much. Love you all. Thank you. And one more time for Mo. You gotta love the kid. One more time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Joe. Next stop, Cooperstown. Next this evening, we're honored to induct a man who spent 7 of his 12 Major League seasons in an Orioles uniform, from 1989 through 1994, and again in 1996, earning Most Valuable Oriole honors and playing outstanding defense in the outfield. He's one of 3 Orioles to finish with 10 or more doubles, triples, and homers in a single season, and he's the only player to do it twice. His best season came in 1992, the inaugural season right here at Oriole Park, when he led the Orioles in 10 offensive categories and finished among the league leaders in RBI, hits, extra base hits, and total bases. He hit the Orioles' first home run at Camden Yards in 1992, but the greatest highlight of that season may have been the catch he made on June 5 against Toronto, robbing Joe Carter of a home run to preserve a 1-0 victory. Before we introduce him, let's take a look back at this outstanding Oriole outfielder.
2-2 pitch, change up, hit high and deep into left field. It's gone! Mike Devereaux with his first Orioles home run. Back goes Devereaux. He's back on the warning track. He's back on the wall. Jumps up, and he made a spectacular catch! An incredible catch by Devereaux! Oriole Park is beside itself, and he just flew. Devereaux is back and makes the catch. He leaps up and makes a one-handed catch. And Devereaux is safe. He is stolen home. There's a fly ball, well hit left field. This ball is way back. Hasta la vista, baby. Mike Devereaux has become the first Oriole to park one at Oriole Park. And Devereaux swings and he hits a drive hit down the left field line. That ball hooking. If it's fair, it's gone. It's a home run, and the Orioles have won it. The only question, fair or foul, and it was fair by maybe a foot. How many friends would you say that Mike Devereaux has made the past couple of days around here?
He could run for office right now and be sure of a landslide victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome back to Baltimore and a congratulations to Orioles Hall of Fame inductee. We called him Devo, Mike Devereaux. Before we hear from Devo, please give a warm welcome to the members of Mike's family that are with us tonight. Mike's wife, Michelle, their sons, Bradley and Michael, daughter, Meanne and Addie, and Mike's mother, Mary Devereaux. Now let's welcome Mike's friend, former Orioles pitcher, Ross Grimsley, who will say a few words about Mike.
Thank you. Yeah, I was fortunate to play with two great ball players, one here in Baltimore, Paul Blair, and in Montreal, Andre Dawson, who's a Hall of Famer. And Mike could hold his own with both of those guys. He was an outstanding outfielder, clutch hitter. Who can forget the great catches, the scaling the wall to take away home runs, as you saw. I mean, he's a guy that would run through a wall to catch a ball, and I think he did a few times. Anyway, it's my pleasure to welcome Mike to the O's Hall of Fame, a clutch hitter and outstanding defensive player, Mike Devereaux.
Wow, this is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, Ross, for that incredible introduction. I also want to congratulate J.J. Hardy, Joe Angel, and definitely Mo Gaba. What an incredible, incredible young man. You know, I also want to thank the Baltimore Orioles and the Orioles advocates. Without them, I obviously wouldn't be here. You know, I stand here humbled and overwhelmed, and I have been for the past few months, ever since I got word from Bill Steck that I was being inducted. You know, I mean, it's been a high the entire time. I actually got traded to the Baltimore Orioles in 1989, and I got to spring training, and I'm managed by Frank Robinson, the great Frank Robinson. You have You have Cal Ripken Sr., you have Tom McCraw, Elrod Hendricks, you have Kurt Moten, you have Johnny O's, Al Jackson. I mean, how can you not succeed under staff like that? These big league ball players. Also, you have guys on the side. You had guys like Jim Palmer. You had Brooks Robinson. You had Boog Powell. These guys weren't in uniform, but they're always around the ball club, always around the team, and we're always learning from them. 1989, the Why Not year. How many of you guys remember Why Not year? Yes, that was an incredible time. We had the youngest team in all of baseball, but we had the #1 defense and the best young pitching staff around. We figured if we kept them from scoring runs, we had a better chance of winning ball games. We came within 2 games of winning the league that year. That was the night we had to go to Toronto and win 2 out of 3. We ended up losing 2. But a few days later, the city of Baltimore threw us a parade downtown. Absolutely incredible. At that time, I knew I was right where I wanted to be in the city of Baltimore, playing for the Baltimore Orioles. Now then, in 1992 comes Camden Yards. What an incredible place this is. I remember Brady Anderson and I walking down the runway after coming back here from spring training, right there in the dugout, and that beacon lights right there was the only lights that were on. Seeing the background of the city literally brought a tear to my eye. That night, or that day, we were playing the opening day, there's people on the buildings overlooking, watching this game. It was incredible. Every game I played since then in the stadium was sold out. And that was a tribute to you fans, and it was great coming here playing in front of you guys. In 1995, I was a free agent, and I left and I played with the Chicago White Sox and then the Atlanta Braves. But in 1996, the Orioles asked me back, and I was gladly to come back home, and thank you so much for that. That was the end of my time in Baltimore, but not the end of Baltimore being in my heart. First of all, I want to thank my incredible family, my incredible and lovely and talented wife, my sons, Bradley and Michael, my daughters, Mian and Adian, my mother, Mary, and unfortunately my father is not with us today, but I know he's looking down in this moment and being very, very proud of what he sees. I want to thank my incredible friends that came down from Tampa Bay to share this moment with me. Thanks, guys. I also want to thank the Baltimore cruise people. The cruise, we go on a cruise every year. I want to thank those guys. And also the campers, the Sarasota, or the Oriole campers that go down to Sarasota a year. Thanks for leaving or keeping the Orioles in my heart. And again, I want to thank the Orioles advocates, the Baltimore Orioles, and the entire city of Baltimore. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me in the game of baseball, and it's the best baseball day in my life. Thank you.
Let's hear it one more time for Devo. Congratulations, Mike. Lastly this evening, we are honored to induct a man who spent the final 7 of his 13 major league seasons in an Orioles uniform. From 2011 through 2017, anchoring the infield for 3 playoff teams and continuing the Orioles tradition of outstanding shortstops. He won 3 straight Gold Gloves from 2012 through 2014. Only Mark Belanger has won more at shortstop for the Orioles. He led AL shortstops in fielding percentage 3 times and putouts, assists, and double plays twice each. And he was the starting shortstop in the 2013 All-Star Game for the American League. And he could handle the bat. As the only shortstop in the majors with at least 20 home runs in each season from 2011 through 2013, including a career-high 30 homers in his first season in Baltimore. And who can forget his mad dash to score from first base on Delman Young's bases-clearing double in Game 2 of the 2014 ALDS. Pretty good slide, JJ. Before we introduce him, let's take a look back at this steady Orioles shortstop.
A diving catch by J.J.
Caught by the shortstop, J.J. Hardy.
What a play by J.J. Hardy.
Diving stop by J.J.
What a play by J.J. Hardy.
Oh, what a catch made by Hardy. Got him! Oh, what a play by Hardy!
J.J.'s a leader on the team. This is a really solid, special player for the city.
There it goes! It is gone!
Grand slam, J.J. Hardy.
He's very fundamental. He understands where his positioning is. He makes every play look easy.
Talk about consistency and steadiness at short. That's Hardy.
And there's a line drive with a base hit to left field. The ball game is over, and the Orioles are in the win column.
It's going, and gone! J.J. Hardy here in October gives the Orioles a 4-2 lead. Cruz is in! Pierce is in! Hardy around third. He's going to try to score! And save! The Orioles have the lead!
You never take for granted what J.J. brings that's so hard to do. He makes his teammates better.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome back to Baltimore to Orioles Hall of Fame inductee, J.J. Hardy. Before we hear from JJ, please give a warm welcome to members of his family who are with us tonight. JJ's wife, Adrian, their son, Jay, JJ's parents, Mike and Susie Hardy, and JJ's longtime friend and agent, Mike Seal. Now let's welcome back to the podium former broadcaster and our Herb Armstrong Award winner, Joe Angel, who will say a few words about JJ.
Well, you should have seen the look on my face when J.J. called me and asked me to do this for him. I was like, wow, what an honor. That is just fantastic that I get to do this. Because as a broadcaster, I loved watching and describing the way J.J. Hardy played the game of baseball. Not one particular play or one particular game, but every day. To fully appreciate J.J. Hardy's style, you had to see him every day, every play. He wasn't flashy. In fact, he went out of his way not to be flashy out there at shortstop. And I know for a fact that at times he would admonish a teammate who was maybe trying to be a little bit too flashy. Just not his style. As Buck Showalter put it, I called him to get his thoughts. And Buck said, well, the thing about JJ, his efficiency was his flashing. And that's what everybody came to love. Because he never made an easy play look hard, and he never made a tough play look even tougher. In fact, whenever Buck Showalter wanted a teaching moment during spring training, he would always use JJ as that moment's teacher. So he would go out, show the young guys how it's supposed to be done, and every time he finished, I swear, in unison, almost at the same time, everybody would say, yeah, that was textbook. His nickname was Textbook during spring training. He remembers that. JJ, I think, was the guy that could have coined the phrase, there's no I in team. Because he did, as Buck said on the video, he made his teammates better, and when he did that, the team obviously became better. And there is no better example of that than what you saw in the video out there. The year in 2014, Delman Young's bases-loaded double that gave the Orioles a sweep of the Detroit Tigers and put them in the ALCS in 2014. Everybody remembers the double. You just saw it. But you also saw JJ was the guy who set that whole thing up, because he knew, and I know this for a fact, because Buck told me, he knew that Buck wanted to use Delman Young to come off the bench as a pinch hitter. Delman was having a sensational season coming off the bench in that role. JJ knew that. Other players might have wanted to capture the moment all for themselves. You know, maybe become a little more aggressive. Maybe expand the strike zone a little bit. Maybe be the headline the next day. Not JJ. He knew what was going on. With a professional, patient at-bat, he was able to coax a walk that put Delman Young in that situation and enabled Buck Showalter to do what he wanted to do. And as you know, it worked out perfectly. And amazing, you remember that, right? You saw it. But in a way, JJ was able to grab a headline himself because he was able to use his blazing speed to score all the way from first base. That was the game winner. And that might be, and really, JJ might have been the only guy I've ever known in the major leagues who went his entire career without an infield single. If he had, he would hit about 340 in his career, but he was amazing. But I think game winner is the best way to describe J.J. Hardy. He's a winner. That's all you can say. And maybe you can join me right now, because I want you to help me introduce J.J. Remember when he used to come to bat and the public address announcer would let you announce him? Can you do that for me now? All right? All together. Now, in the Orioles Hall of Fame, J.J.
Thank you, Joe, for the kind words, and congrats to you, Mike and Mo. It's a pleasure for me to be going into this Hall of Fame the same year as you guys. Before I get started thanking everybody closest to me, I'd like to thank the Oriole advocates for considering me for this great honor. I can't tell you how much it means to me to be a part of this fraternity with such great people and great ball players. Now, my parents, Mom, you are genuinely the nicest person on the planet, and I'm lucky to be your son. Dad, I don't think you understand what beating somebody in ping pong with a flip-flop or a brick or a frying pan does to their ego, but you've always had a way of making me be the best that I can be in anything that I do. My beautiful wife, Adrian, for always being there for me. Coming home to you after a game or a long road trip and getting to hang out with my best friend is such a special feeling. And knowing that you're always there for me is something that I cherish. I love you. Now, when I was a player, I just tried to live in the moment, not get caught up in the past or look too far into the future. But now that I'm not playing, I can look back and reflect. And with that, I realize how lucky I was to get traded here in 2011. With all of my coaches, all of my teammates, the athletic trainers, the strength coaches, the video scouts, all the clubbies, the chefs, the grounds crew, everybody, they were all so good at their job, doing whatever it took to help us as players be better. I also feel lucky that I was able to play for Buck Showalter for all my years here. He had such an impact on every player and made us a team with such great chemistry. But most impactful to me is that he put his faith and trust in me to write my name in the lineup every single day and gave me a chance to make a name for myself as an Oriole. I'd also like to thank Andy McPhail and Dan Duquette, who each signed me to 3-year extensions and allowed me to finish out my career here in Baltimore. And I know that none of this would have happened if it were not for the Angelos family signing off on it, so thank you. Now, as a player playing 162 games a year, you're going to go through ups and downs. The best thing that you can do is try to stay even keel, not let your highs get too high or your lows get too low. Every year when we came into spring training, we expected to be playing baseball in October. And of the 7 years that I was here, we did make it to the postseason 3 times, but came up short 4 years. And looking back at those years, you fans stayed even keel, for the most part. There's one time that I can remember in 2014 when you may have let one high get a little out of control. Game 2 of the ALDS against Detroit, when Delman Young hit that double, I've never heard a stadium roar like it did that day. And it's my all-time favorite moment of my baseball career. You fans always came out and supported us and made every home series a series that we looked forward to playing. This is as much about you guys as it is me. Thank you, Baltimore.
Thank you so much, JJ, and congratulations. By the way, Joe used to call you James Jerry on the air a lot. Fans, we thank you so much for being with us tonight. It's been a pleasure being with you, especially on an occasion as special as this. But before we end our program, we would like our newest Hall of Fame inductees to have the first pitch honors. Please welcome, one more time, our 2021 Orioles Hall of Fame inductees. Okay, folks, it's your pitch. Once again, we thank all of our special guests for being with us this evening, and we congratulate our 2021 inductees to the Orioles Hall of Fame, Mo Gaba, Joe Angel, Mike Devereaux, and JJ Hardy.
A beautiful and emotional pregame ceremony. Mo's Rose live on today at Camden Yards. He's a Hall of Famer forever. We're back with more O's Extra presented by FanDuel Sportsbook next.